Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be doing a review of the Lishi Toys L6055, which, as you can see here, is an interesting quadcopter that can be converted into a car. And now let me just go over that quick. It comes with these little silver nuts here. You can see that they just screw on to the top of the props here. You can see I have them all off. So once you take those off, you can just lift your prop off, and then there is a switch down underneath, a little spring-loaded thing that you have to pull down, and then the whole motor thing will just fold in. That just clips there, and then you're ready to take your wheel. Just put this end in the hole, and then clip it in like that, and you're fully ready on that wheel. And there's just two little pinch clips. You can't really see them up here. You just pinch them, and your wheel comes back off, and you can flip the thing back up, and then you're ready to fly again once you put your props on and tighten the little nuts down back again. And I just have all the prop nuts off right now, so let me put the props back on. And it comes with this little T-wrench tool with a hex driver head to help you get those back on, tighten them up. And then you have 4 spare propellers in this bag, as long as another little tool in case you lose your other one, and a USB charging cable. And then here are your 4 wheels. They're kind of like a hard rubbery compound. They grip pretty decent. And since you're just attaching these to the motors, each wheel is powered, so it does give you very good traction with high torque, so you can go through the grass and stuff. Over here you have your manual. Pretty basic. Not too bad of a manual here, half Chinese to the back, and you can also get the FPV version, and there's a camera version, so that'd be really awesome to drive around FPV on the ground. So let's take a look at the transmitter here. It's a little Xbox style controller, sort of like the Sima remotes. You can see it does have altitude hold, it is self-centering, and I have to say the altitude hold works well in a hover, but if you're trying to fly around, it just messes you up, it fights against you. So, I wish it did not have a barometer, as most of them. Here you have this button in the middle, up, down, so that's automatic takeoff, automatic landing. Now that's kind of hit and miss. The takeoff always works because it just spins up on the ground and then you take off. The landing, sometimes it'll come down real nice and slow, and sometimes it'll just drop down. And once again, I didn't put the nuts back on the props here. Over here you have photo, or this one's photo, and this button is camera to start video if you have the camera version with the or the FPV version. This L right here is for low rates, and the H is for high rates. Your top left shoulder button activates headless mode. Your top right shoulder button, you click and hold it and then give an input, and it'll do a flip in that direction. It does forwards as well as sideways flips. And then over here you have your pitch and roll trims. So other than that, not too bad of a remote, decent quality. So overall, it's pretty simple. Let me take, I'll just take the props off. You've seen what it looks like. So here we have our battery bay, and now mine, I actually did break the little clip off of the door, so it does not stay shut very well. We have this battery bay, take this out. Let's get out our battery. Now this, actually, it seems I don't have the stock battery in here. This is a different battery here. This is a 800 milliamp, but it does come with a 900 milliamp stock. And down here you have your camera port for your camera or Wi-Fi FPV. And then this little thing is, you switch it that way for driving. You switch it in the middle for off, and this way for flying. So that's all you have to do to switch it there. It's pretty convenient. But other than that, it takes about an hour and a half to charge up the stock charger. And surprisingly, flight time, I'm getting like 10 minutes, and driving, I got 18 minutes. And now those values, are gonna vary differently. But the driving, I was pretty much full throttle. I couldn't believe how long it lasted. But it did get very weak after about 7 minutes. But it just kept going and going. And it discharged to about 3.3 volts for the cell. And the flying was super weak as well towards the end. Like, I could hardly stay in the air, but it just kept going, so I kept timing. So I'd say more like a 7-minute flight and a 10-minute drive, something like that. But you can push it out if you need that more. So basically, this isn't a great driver. It's not a great flyer. It drives better than it flies, I think. You know, it's pretty nice. It's definitely not as convenient that you have to switch out the things every time you want to change. You can't just hit a button and take off and fly, and then hit a button and drive. You know, like some of them have a wheel and a prop at the same time mounted. But I think for a kid who wants to get a RC car and also a quadcopter to experience flight and driving, I think this could be a decent option because you can get both of them in here and it does them fairly mediocre. But once again, I wish it did not have the barometer, but that is just more proof that they are trying to go for the beginner here, trying to make it easier for them to fly, but you know, whatever. So that was my review on the Lishi Toys L6055. So now let's go for a flight test and a quick drive. Alright, here we are outdoors with the Lishi Toys L6055. So let's turn on the remote there, and we'll switch it to flying because I have the props on right now. So let's go up, down, and lights went solid. So now you have to take off with the auto takeoff button. So you click that, and the props spin up very slowly. And it won't take off, it'll just stay at that height, so you have to then manually lift off. So, actually let me land it here. Okay, let's just shut that off. I'm actually going to calibrate it real quick. But it looks a little bit better calibrated now. Need some forward trim. So let's see how I have it there. Quite a bit better here, so luckily it's getting sunny out. So let's just test out the altitude hole here for the video. So you can see it is working pretty well. Moving a little bit. I haven't touched the throttle yet. So it's going up and down within probably 3 feet of a radius, but it's staying pretty fairly well there. Now this is low rate, so that's full rate yaw and pitch for low rate, so very docile and slow. Would not get through any wind, however it's very windless right now at this current moment. So let's just fly around. I won't move the throttle. I'll just give pitch and yaw and we'll see. Going up a little bit. And let's come down. Oop. And it definitely does not have much power to this guy. I don't know if the barometer is limiting it with some programming or it's just the actual physical. And I'm full zero throttle right now, so sometimes it does definitely fight you, this one. The barometer doesn't work so well. And it's hard to go up or down sometimes. So, you know, really if they would just give higher rates and just throw out the barometer on this one, it'd be a much better flyer. So let's click into high rates. Actually, that seems like headless mode. Yeah, that left bumper was headless mode there. Okay, so high rates is down here. I forgot about this one. So that's high rates there. So not much better. And losing power. So very underpowered, you know. And coming along here. That's full rate. So really not the best. Let's do some flips. Can't recover from that. Do a front flip. Nope, can't recover. So this one is very underpowered. Barometer doesn't work too well. Very slow flyer. You know, I think that's good enough. There's not much to show with this one. Not very good. So let's just take it up a little bit higher. Right there, and we'll hit auto land. So now it should be landing by itself. See how it does with that. And that was awful. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it sucks like that. So now I'll put on the wheels and we'll take it for a drive. Okay, I now have the wheels on, so let's start the remote and switch it to the other side of car, right there. And let's just do the throttle and get ready, and there we go. So let's just ramp it off the porch here. And as you can see, it can go through grass, and I am in high rates right now. So it's harder when it turns because it can't give full power. But this is fairly short grass, but it's really not that short. It's kind of medium.
So you can see it's just powering right through. So that's actually quite surprising. It's got nice large wheels with lots of torque and grip on them. It can just power right to the grass. Oh, almost got stuck. Oh, we did a backflip. So I think my battery door, something right there that was letting me not get through. So let's just come over here and put it into low rate. So now this is full speed and low rate with full turning. So you know, and you just steer with forwards, backwards, and left and right. There's no pitch here or yaw. So, but it's still pretty intuitive, and it steers. The actual wheels move like a tank, like it uses one side to steer. But each wheel is powered, so that's why it gives you great stuff to power through. Back into high rates. Oh, did a wheelie there. So this is full speed. Full speed right there. It's not the fastest, but for what it is, I think it's really a fun driver. Especially since it can power through the grass. So let's go upside down right there, and it will recognize, now I'm going forward, you can see it took a second there to recognize it was upside down. And the trim does get a little bit different, but it looks pretty cool to just drive upside down like that. So let's just come back over to the grass here. Let's drive upside down through the grass. Oh, are you gonna get stuck? Yeah, it's not looking that. Okay, so now I'm driving backwards upside down in the grass. But you can see it just taking it no problem here. So I think that was good enough for the run. So there we go. That was my review of the Lishi Toys L6055, which is the quad that can be a car and the car that can be a quad. So I kind of have mixed opinions on it. I believe it's about $55, so it's not all that cheap. The radio is pretty decent. It's not great at driving, and it's not great at flying. It's kind of mediocre at both. Definitely flying, I'd say, is a lot less fun. It's just not very good. Driving is probably the better aspect of it. It's not the easiest to change over as some of them that have them fully time attached, the wheels and the props, you can just take off. But it is better at driving and flying than most of those things are. So, you know, I think this could be good for maybe a kid who wants a car, or RC car, and also maybe a quad. And this could give them the flying and driving experience at the same time, you know, on the same machine. So I think that could be where the market is for this one. But other than that, I don't know, I wouldn't really recommend it too much. So that was the review. Please subscribe if you weren't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.